We're going to our last topic with football. So ESPN talked with execs, scouts, and coaches to rank their top 10 running backs in the NFL. So here it is, guys. So coming in at number 10, they got Travis Etienne Jr. Number 9, Derrick Henry. Number 8, Jameer Gibbs. Number 7, Josh Jacobs. Number 6, Bijan Robinson. Number 5, Jonathan Taylor. Number 4, Saquon Barkley. Number 3, Nick Chubb. Number 2, Brees Hall. And number 1, Christian McCaffrey. Do you guys agree with the top 10 list that was voted according to ESPN?
Okay, I'll go first, I guess. I I obviously don't agree with the order. I don't think any of us are going to agree with that 100%. Um, I think that guys like Saquon, Jonathan Taylor, and Nick Chubb have done more than Brees Hall so far. So I don't
Yeah.
see how you have Brees Hall above them. Now I do think Brees Hall is going to have a great year this year. I really believe it. But I just don't see how you could put him and get over those three guys right there. Um, I don't see how you put Josh Jacobs or Jameer Gibbs over Derrick Henry yet. But I could see it maybe after this year, but not yet. I do agree that a guy like Kamara shouldn't be top 10 right now. I know
Oh,
y'all can't wait to mention him.
oh,
I think Kamara's a little overrated. Look, I get it. He does. I
wow.
know he can catch the ball and do all that. At the end of the day, he's never ran for 1,000 yards. By
Mm.
now, you got to give me 1,000 yards
Yeah, yeah,
if
like
you're a
that.
running
Yeah,
back.
like that.
Hey, you got to give me 1,000 yards rushing, and he's had that with Drew Brees throwing the ball. So that should defenses should back off just because Drew Brees is your quarterback. You got to give me 1,000 yards. You got to. Christian McCaffrey is the best running back in the league, and now he's the highest paid. Well deserved. I think he was a stud in Carolina, and this system in San Francisco just does him perfectly. So he was the offensive player of the year last year, and he got him to the Super Bowl. We a lot of us think that he's a bigger reason than Brock Purdy,
Whoa,
and
come on, man.
he is, and I
Well,
like
hold
Right.
Brock
on.
Purdy. He is. So I agree with the number one best player or best running back in the league. I don't agree with the number two that they had. I think if I had to say who's number two, I'd go Nick Chubb, and I'd go Jonathan Taylor, and then Saquon for me for the rest of the top five. But Bijan is going to prove his top 10 running back this year, so I'm okay. He's just not top five yet. Um, yeah, I'm okay. Overall, I'm okay with the guys in the top 10. I don't agree with the orders as a
I,
whole. McCaffrey's the best though.
I'm gonna let you go here first, see, but I think that y'all looking at it from what they've done. I think they're looking at it at going into this season who they think is the top 10 guys based on going into this season. It doesn't mean that they're better as far as career wise. That's what I just gathered based on when I heard Keel say the list. But go ahead, see.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to hurry up and go ahead and give everybody what they want. Hell no, man. This boy said, this man said Kamara's not a top 10 running back. Bijan Robinson has done what to deserve to be in this list?
He was better than Kamara.
Kamara missed 4 games last year.
That's his fault. You got to be available.
I don't care. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying
You got to be available though.
So, like I said, based on we talking about ability, or are we talking about just the numbers because he was more available?
Bijan's got ability. He was a way better prospect coming out than Kamara, and now last year he proved his value, and I think he's only going to get better.
I think that they gave him a whole lot of carries. They gave him a whole lot of carries last year. Kamara
19th in carries, 19th. I don't think they gave him enough. That was Arthur Smith or Arthur Blank, whatever. No, it was Arthur Smith. Blank is their owner. That was him not giving them the ball enough, in my opinion.
Well, yeah, you're right. But I mean, for their team, they gave him a whole lot of carries, and he did a lot of catching out of the backfield. That was like their major weapon last year. Our offense, our offense has hindered Alvin Kamara the last 3 years for sure. And by him not making his top 10, they actually, if you look at it, they have him basically 15th on others receiving votes. He's 15th. And there's no way you could tell me there are 15 better running backs in the NFL than Alvin Kamara. So no, I definitely don't agree. You got people, but I will look at people who are missing out of this. What about Kyron Williams? He finished third in rushing last year. You know, he's not in the top 10. James Conner, he was sixth.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't think they're looking at last year. I think they're looking at going into this season. That's what I really believe when he put that list together. That's what I think, that he looked at the list and said, this is what I expect this season.
Yeah, and that brings me again to Kamara. With the new offense, I believe Kamara coming from Kubiak, who basically you could give him credit for reigniting Christian McCaffrey's career over there in San Francisco. He actually just rushed for over 1,000 yards for the first time in 3 years as well. So let's not forget that. Calm down.
Well, that's because he was hurt, but we know when he's healthy, he actually rushes.
Didn't I just hear about this availability shit you just said?
Yeah, but Kamara's never ran for 1,000. Never.
But he's not. That's not all he does. You can't just say Kamara.
Is with McCaffrey though, and McCaffrey still does it.
And did Kamara get as many touches as McCaffrey did at Carolina? Hell no. Kamara's always split rushing duties. Let's just be real.
Because they don't trust him.
Oh, here we go. Can't trust him. No, man, that was our offense, bro. You just talking crazy. I guarantee you put Kamara in the same positions as McCaffrey. He does close to the same, if not the same, as McCaffrey. There's not even a debate.
One year, I'm looking at it right now. The Saints gave Kamara 21 more carries than McCaffrey got in Carolina, and McCaffrey ran for 1,000 in Carolina. With 21 less carries, that's actually one basically game.
Let me get some of this.
Oh,
my bad. See, I have to use your slogan.
That's fine. Go ahead.
I do think Kamara is a top 10 running back. I do not think that he's like a top 5 running back. I think Breece Hall definitely deserves to be in there through the quarterback issues that they went
Based
through.
Off what?
No,
that's
hold on. Based off of what happened last season with the quarterback issues that they were dealing with, Breece Hall had a huge impact. Like he was one of their primary weapons that they were going to outside of Garrett Wilson, because he was catching the ball also just like Kamara and Christian McCaffrey, and he was running the ball also. So I do think he's a top 10 running back. Do I think he should be at number 2? No, I don't think he should be at number 2. Somebody like a Kyron Williams, he definitely he definitely deserved to be in there also. So I do somewhat disagree with it, but I think I mean, come on now, we can't name 15 running backs right now that's not better than Alvin Kamara. I think Alvin Kamara does deserve to be a top 10, at least a top 10. But top 5, okay, no, I'm not. Well, maybe not. But top 10, he at least deserves to be in the top 10 as far as Alvin Kamara goes. Jahmyr Gibbs was definitely huge. I know X put me on with Jahmyr Gibbs. I stole his.
That's the most honest thing.
I think one question is David Montgomery still there?
No. I think Jahmyr Gibbs has taken over though, because he showed up through some pivotal moments for the Detroit Lions during crucial moments of their games. If there's a guy that I would put number 2, I would put Jonathan Taylor at 2 though. I would put Taylor at number 2.
I would. I put Henry at 2.
So wait a minute. See where you rank Kamara at? A top 5 or a top 10?
I'd put him probably like I mean, he won't be top 5 just based off numbers and what he's done over the last couple of years. But a lot of this has to do with the offensive line as well. But I'd probably put like 8, 9, 10, something like that, from 8 to 10 range.
Well, man.
All
Go
right,
ahead,
y'all
X.
wildin'. Y'all wilding right here. Yeah, clearly the sports junkie gotta come in and take over and set you boys straight because y'all clearly okay. So who's the guy that put this list out?
The guy that put the
No, it was like the a compilation.
it was a compilation with NFL with scouts and
coaches and players all
Hey,
Right.
Shout out to the scouts and coaches and players. Y'all did a great job. Y'all mentioned some guys. Y'all should have put some guys higher. Here's what I know. Going into this season, I don't care what you did prior. We're not talking about your Hall of Fame credentials. We're talking about going into this season. The top 5 guys. And look, I'm giving y'all game right now. I'm giving y'all game. So don't say X, you ain't say that. Christian McCaffrey, Breece Hall, Saquon Barkley, Bijan Robinson, and Jahmyr Gibbs will be the best 5 running backs in fantasy football this year. That's all I gotta say.
Where's
just
Kamara?
gave me a good idea what I'm about to put out tomorrow.
Where's Kamara gonna be?
I think for Kamara, I think he's like in that 8 to 12 range. Because here's the thing with Kamara. He hasn't been happy this offseason. I'm not saying, but it is a concern. I'm not saying he won't come back to the Saints, but I do think he's going to come back and play. I do like Kubiak coming over. But I just don't love the Saints, man. I love the Saints as far as
You finally said it. You finally said it. I've been telling y'all this for years. That boy's not no damn Saints fan.
I don't love them either.
X, you've been very adamant when it comes to possibly trading Kamara. Would you still consider doing that?
Absolutely. I would trade him and Derek Carr right now.
Oh, bro.
Hey, but I do think Kamara, let me say, what I do like about the Kamara situation, he hears the people like the Ivans out there and the people that's disrespecting him because we're not going to knock his talent. Kamara is ridiculously talented. I think that can he finish top 10? Absolutely. Will he? I don't know. Right now, I do like him over some of the guys that are in the top 10. I like him more than I like Josh Jacobs. Y'all may like Josh Jacobs. C knows I'm not the biggest Josh Jacobs guy. I trade C every year, Josh Jacobs, if I had to. Derrick Henry's interesting, but how much is Lamar Jackson going to take away from him? Jonathan Taylor's another one. Interesting, but how much is Anthony Richardson going to take from him? Nick Chubb coming off a real injury. I don't feel that. I love Nick Chubb, but I don't know how great he's going to be coming off that injury. I'm just telling y'all the 5 guys I think is the guys that I named, and then everybody else, you get the Nick Chubb's, his injury concern, Alvin Kamara, will he bounce back? Jonathan Taylor, Derrick Henry. They have the quarterbacks that are runners and going to take some touchdowns away from them. So I wouldn't put them in the top 5. And I know you might say, well, X, Saquon Barkley got Jalen Hurts. Who gets more touchdowns than him? Yes, but Saquon Barkley to me is an outlier. He's like a Bijan. Like they catch the ball, run the football. They do so much. And then when you look at the Eagles offense, you got A.J. Brown. You got Devonta Smith. They got a lot of weapons. I just think Saquon's going to have a monster year. So, yeah, I think that the top 10 is cool. But the 5 that I just named, Keel, we'll play it back next year what I said just now.
All right. Yvonne, who's your top 5 running backs this year?
Fantasy-wise or like just players?
Well, that's gonna kind of match up
Just
because if your fantasy numbers up there, it means you had a great season.
The best running backs this upcoming season.
Okay. Number 1, it has to be McCaffrey. Okay. I don't see how they use them less than they did last.
Breece Hall can pass him.
I agree. Brees Hall to me is number 2. I think Brees Hall is going to have a big year as long as he's healthy. Number 3, I am going to go with Bijan Robinson. I think that they're going to use him way more than they did last year. I really do. Number 4, Jonathan Taylor. I think the Colts are going to be a run-first team. And I think Taylor, one thing about Taylor, this guy, as long as he's healthy, produces. Like Jonathan Taylor always produces. Last year, he didn't have the contract. He had the contract dispute, so he didn't play first. I think it was 4 or 5 games, and he still was close to 1,000 yards. So Jonathan Taylor's a stud as long as he's playing. And number 5, I'm going to go with Saquon. I think that he's going to have better opportunities in Philly, and he's going to have better opportunities to stay healthy in Philly. He won't be as beat up. So my top 5, if I had to say right now, McCaffrey, Brees Hall, Bijan, Jonathan Taylor, Saquon.
What about you,
Saquon
C?
Before C goes, Saquon did them numbers with nobody in New York.
Right.
Dog, that's gonna be. I think Saquon could end up being number 1 too. That's why I like those 5 guys that I mentioned.
I think the issue with Saquon always is just will he stay healthy?
Mm-hmm.
We know his talent.
All right, my 5. Okay, I'll start from the top since it's so obvious. Christian McCaffrey. I got him 1. Number 2, I actually have Saquon. I think he's gonna do big numbers over there in Philly. Right behind him at 3, I actually have Derrick Henry. I don't think that he's gonna fall off because of being over there with Lamar. I think it's actually gonna help him. I think he's gonna help him, and he's gonna end up having the same amount of carries that he usually has, and he's on a better team, so he'll be able to produce better. So I got him at 3rd. A young guy that I think that's gonna show us something. Kyron Williams. I got him at
Great
4.
system. That's the good thing about him.
Yeah, I think he's in a perfect system for his skill set as well. So I definitely have him right there. And Jonathan Taylor's gonna round mine out at 5. I think he just it's like kind of like Yvonne said, he produces, man. And when he's on the field and he's healthy, he produces. So I can't leave him out of my top 5. Honorable mention would be like a Nick Chubb if he's actually healthy.
Yeah, he's healthy. He's nasty.
I'm hearing that Nick Chubb's going to come in October, so that's going to hurt his draft spot. That's what I'm hearing. One thing about Kyron Williams that I'm a little unsure about is how much will Blake Corum take away from him.
That is a good point. But that's a great system for like you see everybody do pretty well over there. You've seen guys have good numbers in LA.
I think he maximized it though. He's
Todd Gurley maximized it.
No, that's what I was about to say. Since Todd Gurley,
yeah, I got you.
He maximized it. Dang, boy, what happened to that boy?
Injuries, but he was a stud when he was up there.
Yeah, man, he was, bro. I would have thought that he would have lasted a little longer. I know his knees gave out on him, but I thought somebody would have given him another chance after he left Atlanta.
Yeah. I think what hurt him was actually the injuries from like Georgia. I think he suffered too many injuries like in college, and then they hurt him down the line.
Yeah.
I
think
my top 5 running backs is I got Christian McCaffrey, not in no particular. I got Christian McCaffrey, Brees Hall, Jonathan Taylor, Bijan Robinson, and Jahmyr Gibbs are my 5. And the guy that I got coming up this year that's gonna make a drastic improvement, I got Alvin Kamara, man, as my honorable mention, man.
Talk to him.
I think Alvin Kamara, his rushing yards will go up because he missed 3 games, and let's not forget he also missed the season finale. Also, anybody who actually watched Saints football like I do, the season finale for the Saints also. So I think his rushing yards will go up, and obviously, he's always gonna catch the ball also with a new offensive coordinator, and obviously they still got that Bozo Dennis Allen still there. So who knows?
Let me ask y'all this: will Alvin Kamara, for the first time in his career, rush for 1,000 yards this year?
Not sure. I know he's going to dominate the carries this year, and this actually will be his first year dominating in carries as far as
So then he should.
I think he'll finally get it though.
I'm not sure because our offensive line is so suspect this year.
I think he'll barely clip it, like somewhere close to like 1,100.
I say no.
Wow.
I know. I think he gets close to it for sure.
I think he gets close to the season, but rushing, no.
I think he gets close to it. But I do believe he'll eclipse like 1,500 total yards.
Who knows, man? He might have Spencer Rattler throwing him the ball, Brad. Whoa! Did I say that? My bad.
I got a question for y'all though. Who's the guy that we have none of us are mentioning? They didn't mention. We didn't mention it out of top 5 because we only did 5 just now. But who's the guy that can finish in the top 5 that nobody's talking about? Just the dark horse. Not saying he's gonna happen because we gave our 5, but who do you think is the guy that can finish top 5 that we didn't mention?
This guy will not finish top 5, but he could. Rachaad White from Tampa had 10 yards away from 1,000 last year, and I think he's only going to get better. I was a little skeptical of him in general as a starter, but 10 yards away from 1,000 last year, he's only going to get better. So that's my dark horse.
My dark horse, y'all gonna laugh, but based off last year, it depends on what they do. But I got Raheem Mostert.
Wow.
He showed me a lot last year. Now I know they wanted to give A-Chain the reins last year, but he just couldn't take them. Mostert was just that good. And I don't expect him to fall off this year, but I think he could be a dark horse to continue his momentum this year. And if they don't try to just force A-Chain to be their bell cow, but I think Mostert is a nice dark horse.
Dark horse. I was gonna go with A-Chain, man, for my dark horse, man.
That's a good one. Yeah.
He before he got hurt with injuries, he had like 800 yards rushing, man, and they were feeding him the ball like
You'd always bust him too.
Yeah, on a high rate, man, and the X was the one that told me about A-Chain, man. I didn't believe him. I was like, man, you crazy, man. Ain't nobody gonna. He's in the waiver wires right now as we speak, man. And A-Chain is a guy. I've been a huge Isaiah Pacheco type of guy. I think they're gonna start feeding him the ball more also. Obviously, with this,
that's a good one.
Yeah, but obviously when you got Mahomes and all those weapons around you, man, and I know X is huge when it comes to Xavier Worthy with the Chiefs going after him, even though he was wrong about him getting drafted.
Sure was.
But I like Pacheco. I like Pacheco though. I definitely like Pacheco and A-Chain. That's my dark horses.
Those are some good ones. I'm gonna give y'all a real one. Y'all might be like, who? Listen to your boy. Hey, Keon, I'm trying to tell you about all these studs before they become studs. Remember the kid from Tulane, Tajay Spears for the Tennessee Titans. Watch what I'm telling y'all. Hey, the kid can go. I'm going to put this out there. Matt Forte-ish. Watch what I'm telling y'all.
So what? You think he'll overtake load over Tony Pollard?
Absolutely. 1,000%. Easy.
Not this year.
This year.
They paid.
I don't think Pollard's that dude.
Pollard is not that dude.
I'm not sold on Pollard either, but they paid him, so they're not going to give up on him
so
too quick.
They paid him to
you
be.
know.
He's gonna be Tony Pollard to Ezekiel Elliott when Ezekiel Elliott was on his going. Watch